Right, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. In today's episode, it's another League One roundup here on the channel. It's Sunday morning. It's time we break down 4 selected games and touch on the other matches as well, looking at them from a tactical perspective. How did those games pan out? And also some key players as well. Oxford are going to win the league. I'm joking. We're not going to win the league. Imagine. Anyway, as always in these roundups, let me know in the comment section down below. Are you happy with your team's performance? And give me your real thoughts, because I'm going to be replying and responding to all of them as per usual. We've got 4-3 thrillers. That's difficult to say. We've also got some 5-0 victories as well. We've got some tight 2-1 wins. We've got some 2-2 draws. Very, very exciting. Let's break it down. Right, starting off with Cambridge United against Burton Albion. Remember, please leave a like and subscribe. The channel growth at the moment is absolutely exceptional, and that's all down to you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell next to it. Helps me. Well, it helps me, but also helps you, because you'll be notified when I go live and do a recorded episode just like this one. Enough of the admin. Let's talk about the footy. That's why we're here on this Sunday morning. Right, Cambridge United against Burton. Right, Cambridge United against Burton Albion, 4-3, incredible, a 7-goal thriller in professional football is absolutely crazy. And who's involved in it again? It's Burton. They're conceding a lot of goals, and Jimmy Hasselbank must be thinking, what can I do? What can I physically do here? Because, again, 4-4 the other week, now 4-3. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. A brilliant win for Cambridge United, of course, scoring 4 goals. Not really great defensively, but they won't care. They got all the 3 points. It was a crazy, crazy game of football, and only in League One will you get 4-3 wins. Look at the league table now. Of course, Cambridge not having a bad season whatsoever. The positions, they're a little bit all over the shop, but you can see here, 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats, 10 goals conceded, but 9 goals scored, and unbeaten in their last 2. Of course, a draw in their last one, and then coming into this game now, a really, really important win for them. Burton, bottom of the league, still the only side. No, Morecambe haven't won a game either. They haven't won a game yet, like I say. 1 draw and 5 defeats, but you can see there, 18 goals conceded, 7 goals scored, only 1 point that leaves them with. And like I say, they're shipping too many. They're shipping way too many, and they're in deep trouble. They really, really are. You look at sides also down there, Morecambe have only conceded 2. I mean, Forest Green have conceded 12. That isn't great. But 18 goals, 6 games into the season. I mean, again, them and only Morecambe haven't won a game. It's not been a great start, and whatsoever. And Jimmy Hasselbank will be thinking, what can I do? What can I physically do here? And you can look at the graph. To be fair, it was mostly Cambridge, but Burton, they took the lead in the first minute. Literally the first minute, they go 1-0 up, and their red card for violent conduct. Jimmy Smith gets a straight red in the 10th minute. And at this point, you must be thinking as a manager, what can I do? What could this season get any worse? Just when we take the lead and we look like we could just go and cause a problem. Early doors, really early, quick start. All managers' dream. Quick start, pin them back early, make them think and make them come back as early as you possibly can. Give them a problem early doors. First minute they score, and then in the 10th minute, you're down to 10 men. You're playing the majority of the game with a man down, and it's so difficult. And they gave it everything. They did give it everything, but it wasn't enough in the end. 1-1, Sam Smith, of course, the goal scorer. Again, he's scoring goals for fun. He scored a hat-trick yesterday. He's a brilliant, brilliant player, and somebody that, again, for Cambridge has been doing really, really well last season and, of course, this season as well. Then John Brayford actually makes it 2-1 before half-time, and Burton are leading at the break. But in the second half, they do make it 2-2. Sam Smith gets his second of the game, and the second for Cambridge. Then 3-2 to Burton. Again, they're giving it a go, but then 3-3, equalising again. It is Sam Smith, and then Liam O'Neill making it 4-3 in the 79th minute. A few bookings and nothing much else in the game that finishes 4-3. But like I say, for Burton and for Jimmy Hasselbank, you must be thinking, what can I do? What can I physically do? You start the game early. You then have to play the majority of the game, with 10 men. Sam Smith has an absolutely incredible game. We talk about key players. But first of all, looking at the graph here, look, there's more green than there is blue. There's more green than there is blue, and Cambridge were on top. You can see that from a statistical perspective as well. 71% possession. Cambridge dominated the game. 21 shots to 12, 9 shots to 3. But Burton, like I say, they gave it a go. With the situation they're in, they gave it their best shot. And it wasn't enough, unfortunately. And Jimmy Hasselbank's future could be a little bit unclear now. I know going into this game, he sort of said, I don't know whether or not I'm the right man for this, and he might have to resign and walk out. I don't know whether or not that's been confirmed or that's going to happen, after this result. But it won't be easy to walk away sort of feeling feeling quite positive about it, if we're being honest. I mean, look, they did give it a go, and that'll be the positive, but at the same time, you're chipping 18 goals and 6, and, there's players in there, Johnny Smith. I mean, what on earth is he doing? What a stupid thing to do. I haven't seen the incident, but 10 minutes in, when you're side, winning early, and you're in trouble as it is across the season, you go and do that, and put your teammates in that type of trouble and that type of difficulty for the majority of the game. It's stupid. And, he's a big reason, I think, why they would have lost that game, if we're being honest. Looking at the key players, you can't look much further than Sam Smith. He had an absolutely exceptional game yesterday. 3 goals. The hat-trick, of course, will be the talking point. Like I say, last season he did a brilliant job, scored a lot of goals in what was a good Cambridge United season. And once again, this season, Cambridge look like they're actually improving, which is really, really positive. And Sam Smith is at the heart of that. 3 goals, you can see his heat map there. So actually drifting a little bit deeper if he needs to. But again, he's in that box a lot of the time. And where he's best, finishing his dinner. He sort of played off that right-hand side. He can play off the right, can play off the left, and actually through the middle as well. He sort of played off that right-hand side, you can see there with that graph. And in the area as well, he's a great finisher. 5 shots on target. You can see there as well. Only lost possession 9 times during the game. And did have a really, really good match. 41 touches across the 90 minutes. A 9 out of 10 rating on SofaScore. The hat-trick being the big talking point. Fair play to Sam Smith. Really, really 3 important goals there. A thrilling game for Burton, though. It's disappointing for Cambridge. It's a brilliant win. And it finishes 4-3 to Cambridge. Such a difficult thing to say. 4-3. There we go. We're going to say it, and we're going to move on. So Derby versus Peterborough finishes 2-1 to Derby County at Pride Park in this one. You can see here looking at the league table. Both of these sides playing 6 games. Peterborough 4 wins, now 2 defeats. As for Derby, it's 3 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. And for Derby, it was all about turning those recent draws into 3 points. And at home, at Pride Park, it's bouncing. It's rocking. Their fan base is absolutely exceptional. And they really got behind the players yesterday and played a huge part, I believe, in getting them over the line. 11 points they currently sit on. Peterborough, who did start this season really, really well. It's another defeat for them, and that will be frustrating. But no doubt, look, they were 1-0 up in the game. It was a brilliant comeback, actually, for Derby, and we'll come on to that in a second. But they will be frustrated by that. 2 relegated championship sides last year, all aiming to get straight back into the league above. And they go head-to-head yesterday, and Derby do come out on top. Looking at the graph here, starts off really with Peterborough, the away side being the better one. Then Derby get back into the game quite heavily in the sort of 15th minute of the match. And quite an edgy sort of rest of the first half. Both sides having moments, but not really anyone dominating, you'd say, going forward. And then second half, Derby start the half the better one. And then another red card, actually, we're going to be talking about in the roundup today. Nathan Thompson for Peterborough gets sent off, a second yellow in the 56th minute, and then actually Peterborough do take the lead about 10 minutes later. Josh Knight makes it 1-0, assisted by Kent, and at that point you go 10 men winning the game 1-0. Is it one of those days? How do you react to that? How do you do that for Derby? Because it's one of those bizarre ones, isn't it? When you go 1-0 up, when you've got a man down, then holding on is really quite difficult, obviously, and especially with the defender as well. They're playing, of course, a back 3. Peterborough was a defender. A substitution straight after that, so also almost sort that out, you'd say. They brought off Taylor for Josh Knight, who can obviously come on and play as that centre-back to replace Nathan Thompson, who got off. But, how do you react to that? How do you react to that when you go 1-0 up when you are a man down still? It's not easy. Sometimes, again, you can actually do better sometimes when that does happen. But for Peterborough, they weren't able to hold on. A few substitutions later, Jason Knight, a late equaliser in the 88th minute, and then David McGoldrick, 2-1, his first of the season. Very, very important. In injury time, Derby County win the game. We know his quality. We know what he's all about. He came on when did he come on? He came on in the 69th minute. And he made an impact in those last few moments of the match. 60% possession to Derby across the game. That's to 40, of course. 16 shots to a 13. 5 shots on target to 4. Again, like I said, across the 90, they did have the majority of the ball. In that first half, a little bit more even when it comes to possession. In the second, though, Derby were the better side on the ball, but didn't actually have the majority of the shots. Interesting. But like I say, the game had everything. A red card, a comeback, a late winner. It was absolutely crazy. And again, like I say, the Derby County home form is looking better and better. A really, really important win for them, turning those draws into wins, and they'll be very, very pleased with that. A late winner for David McGoldrick and a late winner for Derby County. A brilliant 2-1 victory. Let's see what happens for them going into the rest of the campaign. Disappointing for Peterborough. I'm sure they'll be back. I'm sure they'll be back with 3 points probably next week. But anyway, let's move on to the third game of the roundup, talking about Plymouth as they hosted Bolton. So Plymouth against Bolton in this one, it finishes 2-0 to Plymouth Argyle. You can see it looking at the graph really briefly. We'll come back to it. Interesting on the eye, really, really interesting. Looking at the league table here, Plymouth 5th in the league after that result. 6 games played, 4 wins, no draws, but 2 defeats. Back-to-back wins in Sky Bet League One for Stephen Schumacher's side. 12 points they currently sit on after that victory. As for Bolton Wanderers, 6 games played, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Consistent in their inconsistency. Back-to-back defeats in League One for Ian Everett's side. 8 points out of 6 games played. So, look, it's interesting for Bolton, looking at them first. Of course, we'll come on to Plymouth. But looking at it from Bolton, they'll be frustrated by that. They will be. Because a lot of ambition to get back into the Championship and really use it as a promotion push type of campaign. And it still might be. It still very much might be. But that'll be annoying. That will be annoying. And you look at how the graph played as well. I mean, it was quite a strange one to look at. I mean, Bolton were better sort of to start the game, you'd say, and then Plymouth sort of came back into it. There was a little bit all over the shop. Then Bolton sort of had a patch just before Plymouth actually scored. Really quite even in that first half. Neil Ennis makes it 1-0, 34th minute. And then Bolton actually finished the first half at the better side. But look, you'd probably edge towards Bolton as the better one in that first 45. But Plymouth having moments, and when they did come forward, of course, they got that goal, so they'll take that. But quite a bizarre one. Coming into the second half, no real side started the better. Really quite even in that opening sort of few moments of that second 45. You say Bolton then sort of had the first moment, then Plymouth sort of came back and sort of tried to gain some sort of rhythm as the home side. Then Plymouth were really dominating patch, you'd say, from about the 60th minute until then Plymouth score again. In the 88th minute, Ryan Hardie makes it 2-0, assisted by Morgan Whittaker, the loanee from Swansea City. And yeah, I mean, it's quite a strange one. Bolton, like I say, from the 60th minute onwards, really, until that 88th minute goal to sort of kill the game off, Bolton did look fairly good going forward. But 2-0, and the game looks, fairly set and matched. We'll look at the stats here. 58% possession to Bolton. So, yeah, they do have the majority of the ball. Second half, I imagine more as well. Yeah, 61% possession in that second half. So, like I say, that graph doesn't really lie. You can see in that second 45, they did look fairly good going forward, and they did have the majority of the ball and were dominating. But against the run of play, you'd say to an extent, Plymouth do go and kill that game off with the substitute Ryan Hardie with the goal. 9 shots to 5 for Bolton in that second half. Across the entire game, I saw a few people saying, by the way, if you haven't joined the Discord server, link in the description to that, all of the League One chat, and also some call-ins coming in very, very soon as well. We spoke about maybe another striker with Dion Charles. It is Kunchungu, the man that can sort of do that on a consistent basis. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a great set of individual stats when you look at the average ratings for them going forward in those attacking areas. Quite rightly, you'd say, because they did have moments, but they weren't able to make the most of it. And we speak about it all the time, dominating patches, go and make the most of it. They weren't able to, and they'll be annoyed by that. 14 shots to 9, like I say, across the game as well. 4 shots to 4, so actually the same on target. That's going to be the problem. If you're going to have more of the shots by 14 to 9, you've got to have more on target, and they weren't able to. A few wayward strikes, I think, in that sort of game, really, from a Bolton perspective. But as a Plymouth, it's a brilliant, brilliant win. And when they did come forward, and when they did have moments, they took the lead, and they took the win. And that's exactly what they want. Looking at the key players across the game, a few injuries as well, actually. An injury there. We didn't really mention it in the last one, but there was an injury for Derby in that one. But yeah, disappointing injury there for Brendan Galloway. Key player, tough really. I mean, defensively, they'll definitely have to take that, because they did have to keep Bolton quiet for quite a lot of it, and that wasn't easy because they did try and make a noise. Dan Scarr, the defender, number 6, he didn't have a bad game. Can we click on his individual? They're going to just bring up all of his recent games. Why is it doing that? Don't know why it's doing that. That's annoying. We can't look at his individual moments across the game. Surely we can. Why can't we? That's really rather annoying. There we go. There we go. You can see here 7.7 rating on SofaScore. Played a full 90 minutes. You can see they're averaging quite a high line, to be fair. Not really high, but he's not defending from his penalty area, which is important. So his average position just below that halfway line when defending. 5 clearances, 2 block shots in the game, an interception, 2 tackles defensively. Did look really, really good. His average passing accuracy wasn't amazing at 56%, but this game I think was all about defending Bolton Wanderers because, like I say, they had to get them quiet, and that wasn't easy, because they were trying to make a noise. But in the end, a brilliant win for Plymouth Argyle. Disappointing for Bolton, because they did have moments in the game, but they weren't able to, and they lose the game 2-0. But a brilliant, like I say, win for Stephen Schumacher's side. Right, let's move on to the final game of this roundup. So Ipswich versus Barnsley is the next game, and the final game we're going to be looking at in ultimate detail. 2-2 draw is the final score. Barnsley, 6 games played, 2 wins, 2 draws. No, sorry, 1 draw and 3 defeats. 7 points out of a possible 18. 8 goals conceded, 7 goals scored. They'll be hoping to sort of try and get some wins on the board now. Of course, 2 games without a win. As for Ipswich, 6 games played, 4 wins, 2 draws, and no defeats. Still unbeaten in the league. That winning run does come to an end with a draw yesterday at Portsmouth Road, joint top with Pompey on 14 points. Looking at the key player, Lee Evans. What a brilliant game for Lee Evans. 112 touches in the match, an 8 out of 10 rating on SofaScore. Some people a little bit maybe quite critical of the SofaScore rating sometimes, but I think here you can see 7 key passes, 1 big chance created, 88% pass accuracy. He looked like he had a really, really good game in that midfield. A little bit box to box, you'd say. Sort of all over the shop in that midfield. You can see how the game panned out there. Ipswich were sort of starting the better side, then Barnsley having a moment. Until the goal of Connor Chaplin in the 27th minute, not really anyone sort of taking some control, but it is 1-0, and it is Connor Chaplin making it 1-0. Barnsley equalised pretty much quite straight after that, 6 minutes after it, 1-1. Equalising goal, and that's how the first half ends. Second half, 70th minute, Sam Morsey makes it 2-1, and then a quick response once more. Barnsley with the quick responses when they do go a goal down in this one. Quick 75th minute goal, 2-2, Callum Styles, and the rest of the game. Really, Ipswich do actually end the game the better side. They'll be hoping to sort of try and get a 3-2 winner. They weren't able to, and the game does finish 2-2. Looking at the stats, Ipswich, the more dominating side when it comes to ball possession. 67% possession in this one, 12 shots to 9. And like I said, look at the moment here. Ipswich do end the game the better side, and they'll be hoping they won't be hoping now. It's not possible now, but they would have wanted and hoping at that time to try and get something more than a point, because they'd be hoping really that they deserved it, but they weren't able to. The game does finish 2-2. A good point really for Barnsley, because it won't be easy at all going to Portman Road for any side this season. Looking at the other games we haven't spoken about, Sheffield Wednesday very, very dominating against Forest Green, winning that game 5-0. They were 4-0 up at half-time. Barry Banner an 8 out of 5 rating on SofaScore. 5-0 win for them. Very, very impressive stuff. As for Wycombe, 1-1 against Charlton. A tight game. Could have easily broken that one down, but 1-1, Raksaki with man of the match. Did he score? He did, assisted by Charlie Kirk in that one. 1-1 between those two sides. Port Vale against Pompey, a very important win for Portsmouth, 4-0 written all over it. He was there, his video is out now, you can watch that. A brilliant matchday vlog as always from him. A very difficult place to go, Port Vale, and they do get past it with a 1-0 win. Port Vale actually in that first half looking fairly good. Not a brilliant game you'd say across it, but still watch the vlog. I'm sure it's good, but I'm not trying to take you away from the vlog, but yeah, it's wasn't one of those where you go, that'll go down in history, but it is a very, very important win for Pompey. Of course, they are now top of the league. 0-0 between Accrington and Exeter. That one's one that I was sort of contemplating. Do I talk about it? Do I do a dedicated sort of look at that one? I decided probably not. 4-0 to MK Dons against Morecambe. A very, very good win. A classic Liam Manning performance. Goals, attacking from them. Exactly what they needed. A brilliant win for them. We've got a match reaction for that coming out very, very soon. If you're watching this, it might already be out between Cheltenham and Oxford United. Back to winning ways for Oxford. A very important win for them. 2-1 in that one. Lincoln between Fleetwood is a 2-2 draw. And finally, Bristol Rovers drawing at home to Shrewsbury. 1-1 in that one. So, some goals, some real goals in Sky Bet League One this week, and some really good matches. If you have enjoyed this roundup, please leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, though, I'll see you probably during the week with some interesting episodes. I've got, of course, predictions. I might do another video, a little call-in very, very soon. So join the Discord server, link in the description. I've been Jack. This has been the Unfan Podcast. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care.